Good evening, everybody. So I wanted to do something a little bit more calm, a little less harsh light. If I wouldn't get in trouble by YouTube, I'd play some music, but apparently they don't like that. Copyright infringement, whatever. Um, but I wanted to express some heartfelt thoughts and prayers to those who are struggling in this time. Uh, we often overlook some of what's going on. We look at the numbers, we look at the news, and we look at what is going on in our neighborhoods, but it's hard to have X-ray vision to actually look into a home. Um, we haven't really put a lot of thought into different scenarios that are going on inside the house. So I'd like to just raise some awareness for that. Uh, Not to be a Debbie Downer, but just to raise that awareness for prayer, because prayer is important. And also a way that we can reach out and love our neighbors. Um, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the kids. Um, Kids are bored. They're struggling right now. A lot of kids are being moved to online school, and it's different when you're sitting in a classroom with your peers and a teacher that tells you what to do and where to go, and everything is very structured. It's much more difficult for a kid to do that at home. A lot of parents have to leave for work, so they're not actually able to be there to monitor. So kids are struggling, and even with that, not every child is in a safe environment. Um, we understand that some adults are I don't want to go as far to say unfit parent, but um, that may have difficulties. We see a lot of kids in the school system that have rough home lives. So we have to consider and pray for those kids, that they get enough food, that they're safe, um, that their education is able to continue. So we need to make sure that we are keeping them in our prayers because it's important. And then the next group of people I want to talk about are those who have some sort of um, challenge. So I'm going to use the word challenge to cover a lot of different things. One is that I can talk about freely because it's something that I deal with, uh, post-traumatic stress. Um, in some ways, being here isn't so bad. In other ways, it's absolutely awful. Um, so those who have different levels of PTSD, different symptoms as a result of PTSD, can be finding staying home a challenge. They can find their depression raise and worsen. Those who have um, drinking or substance abuse problems might be worse right now, which makes home life worse for the spouse or for the girlfriend or the boyfriend or whoever it is that may live with them, the kids. Um, so we have to consider the cost, and there is a cost. We know that this is what we're supposed to do. We know that this is what we have to do, um, but the bill comes due, and there will be a price for a lot of people staying at home. Others, such as depression or uh, or bipolar disorder, or even to some extent schizophrenia, or a number of others. You could have an eating disorder, and being stuck at home may exasperate that as well. So whatever your mind can conjure, whatever ideas I have just delivered, whatever more you have in your head, think about those people. Think about the people who are stuck at home dealing with those things day in and day out. While I generally don't mind the house, I get some cabin fever. At the same time, it's very difficult for me to not have church. It's very difficult for me to go from 3, 4, or 5 days a week at church to nothing. There is something to be said, even for me. I borderline agoraphobia. Not so much the public itself, but public crowded places like Walmart on a Friday afternoon after payday, right? That's a rough place for me. Grocery stores right now during panic time was a rough place for me. Malls at Thanksgiving and Christmas, rough place for me. So while this is nice to be able to sit back and kind of relax, I'm not really relaxing much, but for some people, sitting idle is difficult for them. Not being up, not being out, not doing stuff, not being able to go and socialize, and for some people that's an absolute nightmare. So we need to consider them. We need to be sure that we are praying for them and doing everything we can. Being a good neighbor, being a loving neighbor, means to pick up the phone and call. It means to sit down and write a message. Write a handwritten letter or typed letter if you can't read your handwriting, because nobody wants that. We all have something we can do. We all have people who we care about, who we can reach out to, who are loving, and we need to do so. We need to tell one another we care. And because we're all in this together, even a short hello, how you doing, you making it, you need anything, even that can be enough to change someone's mood, someone's mindset. Today I was very blessed here at the house. I don't know who it was. I don't know if I'll ever know who it was. But somebody dropped off a dozen eggs in the mailbox with a lovely handwritten note. I don't know who it was. They were obviously home chickens. They were obviously laid in at a private residence. So I don't know. What I do know is a random act of love in action. We can say we love somebody all day long. Are we showing it through our actions? And I think that's where some of us have fallen short. Some of us have sat back on the couch and got wrapped up in the news, and we're forgetting that there are other people who need and desire and crave that social interaction, and they're hurting, myself included. I have struggled immensely over the last couple weeks because I have found that so many people that I usually talk to are more busy than ever right now, largely because school is at home, work is at home, and home has become the office. So just keep that in mind. Love one another. Do your best to reach out. If you've got a friend you haven't even thought of and then they pop in your head, just send them a hey, how's it going? You alive? You still doing well? You're healthy? It's the small stuff. So don't underestimate the power of a 15-second text message. It's so important. Love y'all.